it's important for Albania to continue on the path that I've always called a pro-Western path or a pro-Atlantic path. So, different like concentric circles. I'm convinced that Albania is very much a part of Europe. I'm convinced of that because of my conversations with countless numbers of Albanians. They identify with Europe. They feel part of Europe, even though Europe has not always been all that welcoming towards Albanians, right? And we can get into that conversation a little bit. But, I just feel more convinced than ever that Albania's positive future lies in strengthening those ties with the rest of Europe and across the Atlantic. Albania is on the path towards integration. I've kind of lost track of, sort of the target date. I've heard 2030. Don't forget that date or, that process has as much to do with the EU 27 as it does what's actually happening in Albania, or North Macedonia or Bosnia Herzegovina or Serbia, So yes, there are certain criteria, and it's a very elaborate process that's, way too complicated for my simple mind to absorb. But I used to get a little bit annoyed when I would hear, well-meaning people from Brussels say, well, the Albanians need to do their homework, right? That was, sort of a rather clumsy way of saying, to adhere to the criteria. The criteria are good. But, it sounds too much like a school marm. Frankly, it's a little bit insulting. And I know that because it's taken a long time to reach that point, some Albanians say, you know what, maybe it's just not worth it. And I would just really, really encourage you to not succumb to that kind of negative thinking. It's important because it matters to your country and to your people.